Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday evening. My name is Hui Suan. I am your host for tonight. And we are pleased to bring you this talk about our latest blockbuster called ageLOC Reset. To begin tonight's talk, I'm going to give you a brief intro of the company that's behind this amazing product. Just a couple of slides. The company is New Skin Enterprises, and we are a global company in 50 plus markets. Last year, 2021, we did a revenue of 2.7 billion dollars, and we are a listed company. We have been listed on the New York Stock Exchange since 1997. We are a 37-year-old company with a solid, successful record, and this is has caused Forbes to name us as the 100 most trustworthy companies in the world. In Singapore, we were the first direct selling company to be Case Trust certified for our excellent business practices. Okay, next. Of course, we are very proud of our anti-aging research and development team. In-house, we have 75 scientists who have put together 93 scientific posters, received 69 awards, made 38 oral presentations, and have a total of 36 patents and published 29 articles. Really, the word to describe our company is innovation. This is what Motley Fool and investment website said about us. New Skin has found a successful niche and is coming up with new products each year. This is the Apple of the anti-aging companies. And really, we do a lot of innovation, and tonight you are going to hear about one such innovation which has taken 7 years to put together, because we just want to come up with a really fantastic product. And to tell us all about it is Dr. James Chia. So James has a PhD in civil engineering, so he's familiar with scientific research. He holds the Chartered Financial Analyst or CFA designation, so he's trained to look for value. And in the Singapore Armed Forces, he was a lieutenant colonel in the Guards Unit and was the SAF National Serviceman of the Year in 1995. So I guess you could say he's familiar with defense, which is today's subject, building health defenses. James, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, and good evening, those of you who have taken the trouble to come and join us at 8 o'clock. It's it's a difficult time. You've got to either rush dinner or postpone dinner for a while. But I do appreciate you coming in or listening to this recording. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Okay, how do you want to age? Like the pictures above, or like the people below? And this is not a rhetorical question, really, because you need to ask yourself that question. You need to ask that question, on behalf of a spouse, and of course, to our parents who are older than us. And I would say that this is not going to happen by chance. It's going to be by a deliberate choice. Okay. Now, this is a very recent change. Okay, this is March this year. The government has introduced this new initiative to ensure that health comes first in healthcare. Okay, so this is a shift in approach to keep people healthy rather than treating their illnesses later. And this is simply this adage, that prevention is better than cure. Now, let me just share with you one bit of what Mr. Ong Yi Kang, our health minister, said. See, across 204 countries, Singapore has the highest life expectancy at birth for both men and women. But the health of our population is declining, driven by aging society and unhealthy lifestyle choices. Now, my own conviction about this comes from two areas. First of all, as a financial planner, it's one of the products that one of the things that I did was to sell insurance, and I was very aware of the statistics. Okay, now all of you are familiar with insurance. You know that in insurance, the actuary only asks 3 basic questions. Okay, first of all, are you male or female? Because if you are female, you have a longer life expectancy. Okay, if you're male, you're going to die earlier. They ask you whether you're a smoker or non-smoker, because if you're a smoker, the chances of you getting cancer and dying from cancer is higher, and you may not even be insured. And then lastly, they ask your BMI. They want to see whether you're obese or not, because if you're obese, the health risk is great because of statistics. I'm an engineer, we operate based on probability of things happening. Now, in my own family, my personal experience is that my father, had 2 bypasses, one at 50 something years old, and another, again, his arteries got clogged up at 70 something years old. And my brother, who's a national athlete, national middle distance runner, he's a doctor, he had a heart attack at 43. And that's because of our, Peranakan lifestyle, is the food that we ate and the food that we didn't eat. So today, I'm very, very excited to talk about how a product can actually make a difference to our lives. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about our latest blockbuster ageLOC product called Reset. Okay. Now, Reset is about resilience, and resilience is simply about bouncing back. Now, bouncing back from what? Okay. Our modern lifestyle, is affecting our health. We are attacked on all fronts. You can just think of so many fronts. So let me just go through very, very quickly some areas. Okay, financial is a big area. Okay, and our investments, our income has been affected greatly in the last couple of years because of COVID, and then now with the economic crisis caused by the war, expenses have gone up, and then there are all these scams, that are taking away our hard-earned money, and we try to get a higher return. And of course, over here you see inflation is a big issue affecting us financially. On the physical side, immunity has been a big issue, of course, because of COVID. And when we had lockdown, there was a lack of exercise, and then this problem of loss of muscle is a very, very serious thing to our health. Now, socially, COVID-19, of course, has impacted us a lot with restrictions in many, many areas. Climate change, here you see this picture, has been a big area affecting many countries, floods, the heat, and then, of course, these global conflicts now affecting us economically and socially. And all this, of course, has led to increased mental stress. Okay? Just simply from Zoom, like this meeting, we're so used to it already. So many Zoom meetings, social media addiction. So it actually produces dopamine, and so we get addicted to it, and all the issues with being addicted to social media, and of course the mental stresses in society. I want to talk a bit about mental stress. Now, this mental health in Southeast Asia is very seriously affected, and they say the problem is more prevalent in Asia, where 91% of respondents reported feeling stressed, and 80% saying they are always on work culture. And you appreciate that. Okay. Now, what is the ultimate consequence of mental stress? Suicides. Okay. And in Singapore, youth suicides spiked, and it's just the tip of the iceberg, where actually anxiety is a big issue. Okay, so more and more people are seeking help for anxiety. And the Association of Mental Health said there's been an 80% increase in people who require counseling for anxiety. So now, what about immunity? We talked about immunity, and actually, do you know that 70% of your immune system is located in the gut? Okay. This is an article from UCLA Health. If you want to boost immunity, look to the gut. And that's why we talk about this gut-brain connection. Okay, if you go in Google, there's so much work about the gut-brain connection. This is where you have the expression, you have a gut feeling, but it's more than just this casual connection. It's actually a very, very deep connection. This medical journal says that good bacteria in your gut can enhance your immune system function, improve symptoms of depression. So it will help mental health as well as to combat obesity, provide numerous other benefits. On the other hand, high stress levels, okay, too little sleep, eating processed, high sugar foods can all damage our gut microbiome. Okay, so this may in turn affect other aspects of our health, such as brain, heart. So the immune system is very important. And I want to just share with you that when we started developing this product 7 years ago, it was to focus on actually gut health, okay, which happens to be very useful in this time when we want to have higher immunity. So we want to build a more resilient body biochemistry because our modern lifestyle is really, really stressing our bodies. So we ask this question: what can help us build resilience to handle it better? Okay, resilience, because it's not a one-time issue; it's a daily stress that our bodies are encountering. Okay, I want to share with you this quick video about a study in the University of Southern Queensland by Professor Lindsay Brown on their findings with mice.
Lindsay and his team tested the effects of anthocyanins on rats, fattened up on a diet similar to thick shakes, burgers and fries. The body mass index of these rats is 25 to 35, equivalent to the BMI of most of the Australian human population. What's happening as a result of obesity in these rats' bodies right now?
Blood pressure is going up quite dramatically. The heart function is going down. The liver function is going down. The abdominal fat pads increase. The hormones go up. The whole of the body is being affected, and that's characteristic of obesity.
And it's all linked together by this inflammatory response?
It's all linked together because the inflammatory response occurs in every organ. There's no organ that is immune from that.
And then, after 8 weeks, he added anthocyanin-rich juice to the food of half the rats.
Much to my surprise, actually, we found that the anthocyanins in purple carrots, in green garnet plums, in all of these things completely reverse all of those changes. So we haven't changed the diet. They're still getting this high carbohydrate, high fat diet. And yet with that intervention, all of those parameters that characterize obesity are back to normal.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
The results with rats have led to human clinical trials, which are now underway.
Okay, so this knowledge is available in the web, but what our scientists did is, of course, we spent 7 years developing this. Much more time than we spent developing the COVID-19 vaccines. Okay. So I want to share with you just some testimonies addressing some of the problems that we saw earlier. Okay, so this is about the emotional mental health. Okay, so even she's 37 years old, after just 2 weeks with research, she says, my general well-being is greatly improved. Wake up feeling fresh and happy throughout the day, totally loving my happy pill. Okay. Ayung, who's younger, 26 years old, she wakes up with a happy mood. She's more focused, mental clarity. Joey, 2 weeks reset, feel calmer and relaxed after taking reset. Every day wakes up feeling happy, refreshed and recharged, feel energetic, accomplish my tasks. This lady, Miss Chan, 40 years old, says, reset has helped me to be less angry. I've been struggling with emotional issues, which has led to mood swings and temper tantrums. After a month of taking reset, my moods have been more stable now. So that's been a very, very common finding from the people who have started using reset, okay, after it was introduced in December last year. Now, what about sleep? Okay, or what? Okay, so being sedentary actually has got several issues. Okay, the first one is an uptick in high blood pressure. Okay, so this survey shows over 1 in 3. Okay, there's more than 30% have high blood pressure because of a sedentary lifestyle. And the consequence of that is that there was a 50% spike in the number of people with high blood pressure in just 2 years. So this was the 2 years covering COVID. Okay. So let's hear some testimonials from, this is Isaac. His blood pressure dropped from 145 to 109 after 6 weeks of reset. Junwen's customer, after a week on reset, blood pressure dropped from 138 to 126. Okay, sleeping less. Okay. this is a big problem all around the world. China, it's an article in China where stress and sedentary lifestyle is partly to blame. And, the Chinese are taking up to 3 hours longer to fall asleep because of a more inactive lifestyle. Okay, so being sedentary leads you to actually sleep less. And this is what was a story about this lady who sleeps only about 3 hours on average each day, wakes up listless and irritable, and her husband had to send her to see a therapist, and the therapist advised her to get more sleep. So what do people do to get more sleep? What do insomniacs do? They resort to some dangerous ways to overcome this condition. This report talks about people taking melatonin. Now, some of you, melatonin is available. You're taking melatonin, but there are side effects. Okay, so common side effects of melatonin include dizziness, nausea, headache. Can we solve this problem without these harmful side effects? Okay. About being sleep deprived. Okay, yesterday we had National Day. Very proud of our country, and we are number one. We are the most fatigued country in the world. And what are some of the reasons? Okay, so we are sleep deprived. Okay, and it's not just the number of hours of sleep we have or have not been getting. Okay, it's the duration we spend at work and on the internet. This is where that social media addiction, and where the Zoom meetings and all that now on the internet. Okay, so it is a part of our modern lifestyle. Okay. So let's see how this product has helped people with sleep. So this is a customer in his late 50s. Okay. I've never had good sleep since young. After 70 days of reset, I'm able to have quality sleep for the first time, which is such a blessing. And for this lady, okay, her hair has also improved. Her hair fall has been reduced. Okay. This is a partner. She tells about her mother-in-law who has had sleeping issues and insomnia for many years. Okay, she can't sleep and wakes up very early. Okay, for chanting. After taking reset, she can sleep until 10 a.m. plus. Wakes up feeling fresh and happy. Alfred, okay, how has his sleep been affected? So Alfred is very athletic. Okay, he's a very fit, but he always has an urge to pee 2 to 3 times each night. Okay, he has to get up, interrupting his sleep, hence waking up tired. But after just 1 week taking ageLOC reset, the urge was reduced to once or none at all. And even if he does get up to pee, he can now get back to deep sleep easily. Wakes up in the morning feeling very alive. This is a friend of his, Tanner Wong. I used to wake up 2 to 3 times during the night to pee, disturbing my sleep. I think this is something for people around that age. After taking ageLOC reset for 2 months, I wake up only once. At times, I can even sleep through the night uninterrupted. The feeling is really fresh waking up each morning. Okay, and what also surprised him that his body fat seemed to reduce after 2 months. This is my daughter, Gail. So Gail is very athletic. I'll give you an example. Last year, she cycled 300 kilometers in one stretch in 15 hours, and she ran 160 kilometers in 28 hours. Okay, someone like her, so athletic, even benefited from reset. She says, I used to wake up feeling tired even after getting 8 hours of undisrupted sleep. But within a month of taking reset, I was waking up feeling more rejuvenated and rested with just 7 hours sleep. This meant a more productive start to my day. Towards the end of the first month, I also noticed a bit of shaping at the waist and hips despite no change in diet or exercise regime. Okay. So, we've seen we are attacked on many, many fronts, in fact, all fronts. And at this time of multiple relentless onslaughts, our weakened immunity and body functions will crumble, which is why reset is about building resilience. Okay. I want to talk a bit about metabolism, because we're going to be talking about metabolic syndrome and metabolism and energy. And let me share with you that actually every chemical process in your body is metabolism. Okay, and it is necessary for maintaining your life. Energy production, building new tissues, breaking down old tissue to repair it, elimination of waste, growth, cellular reproduction. That's metabolism. Okay, metabolism is everything our body does. And therefore, this thing called metabolic syndrome is very, very serious. Okay. Just another quick definition. So metabolic health, body chemistry is the same thing. Okay, our body is a series of chemical reactions. Okay, and it will influence our overall health and how our bodies function. Okay, whether they function or not, whether the circuit is closed, there is an electrical circuit that causes our body to operate. So, do you think you're metabolically healthy? Many of us feel okay. Do you think you're metabolically healthy? Let me share with you that being skinny is not necessarily being metabolically healthy. Okay, a recent study showed that 2/3 of normal weight participants do not have optimal metabolic health. Okay, if you are young, you have good metabolic health. Well, no, not really. 77% of those aged 20 to 39, 91% of those aged 40 to 59, and 98% of those 60 plus did not have optimum metabolic health. Okay, and these are measured by these things. So I'm going to talk a bit about. Okay, so do you know this was an American study? Only 1 in 8 people is considered metabolically healthy. Okay, resulting in a wide variety of health conditions for the rest of us. That's 88% of the population. Okay. So the problem, let's just see, let's refresh ourselves what this modern lifestyle is doing. Okay, and what is this modern lifestyle when we stream our favorite shows leading to little physical activity? Okay, so much of that available now. Staying up late, getting up early, leading to poor quality sleep, working long hours, stressed out from work or finances or relationships or health, then poor diets, processed food, eating out, high sugar and fat because that relieves stress. Okay. So what will happen is we get this thing called metabolic syndrome, okay, which is characterized by 5 things: increased waist circumference, okay, or belly fat, high triglycerides, okay, high fats in the blood, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and low HDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol, high density lipoprotein, that's the good cholesterol. So metabolic syndrome is a group of risk factors that raises the risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and other health problems, resulting in serious and long-term complications. And of course, I highlight here what we are most familiar with: diabetes, heart attack, and stroke. I want to share with you this short little video that explains the significance of insulin, okay? Because this is a big thing that this product addresses, okay? Insulin and blood sugar.
Metabolic syndrome, in turn, has its own set of underlying risk factors, of which insulin resistance is most important. Insulin resistance is when the body's cells do not respond well to insulin and therefore cannot use glucose. Glucose stays in the blood, causing high blood sugar levels, while the cells are deprived of nutrition. Insulin resistance can be acquired, hereditary, or mixed. Other risk factors include abdominal obesity, physical inactivity, aging, hormonal imbalances, and use of certain medications. Women are more susceptible than men. Some racial and ethnic groups are at higher risk than others.
Okay, so let me just summarize this chart. Okay, if you've got normal insulin sensitivity, the glucose, okay, is able to come from the blood into the cell, and so give energy to the cell. Whereas if you've got insulin resistance, the glucose stays outside; it can't come into the cell. So the consequence of that is that you've got sugar in the blood, which is harmful for your blood vessels, okay, and your cells, which is the energy source, okay, are deprived of glucose, and so the body can't function. That's why the body fails. Okay, it doesn't have the ability to be resilient against all these stresses in life. Now, I want to focus on 2 dreaded Ds, okay, as part of this metabolic syndrome. Okay. The first is diabetes. Now, patients are at higher risk of diabetes. Okay. You know what's the percentage of people who develop diabetes. And sure, when you get diabetes, your kidney fails, then you have to go for dialysis 3 times a week for the rest of your life. Okay. Do you know that 1 in 3 Singaporeans has a lifetime risk of developing diabetes? 1 in 3, okay, that's a 33% risk. That is extremely high. It's like you got to cross this road, okay, and every 3rd person who crosses the road gets knocked down. Will you cross the road? You wouldn't. Okay, so people are unaware of this statistic. Okay. What are you recommended? What does this article recommend? Okay, so first of all, it says that metabolic dysfunction preceding the development of diabetes, okay, can occur in the absence of obesity or advanced age. Okay, so as we saw earlier, you don't have to be fat, you don't have to be old. Okay. So it suggests that it's more effective to implement strategies that target the specific metabolic abnormalities that predispose Asians to developing the disease. This is about doing things that will prevent it from occurring. Okay. Now, what are these specific metabolic abnormalities? An analogy that we're most familiar with is wearing glasses. Okay, now you got a group of Asians, you got a group of Caucasians. The Asians are wearing spectacles. Okay, we've got the higher risk of, higher propensity to develop myopia young. Okay, so once we know that, we want to do something about this problem with diabetes. Okay, so this article says these metabolic abnormalities can develop in Asians. It is advisable to initiate these targeted diet and lifestyle interventions earlier in adulthood. Okay, prevention better than cure, even from the preconception and prenatal period. Okay, address it at birth even. Now, the other thing the other dreaded D is dementia. Do you know that half of the dementia cases in Singapore are due to vascular dementia? Okay, what is vascular dementia? That's 50% of dementia. You don't want to get dementia. Okay, but it's so easy to get vascular dementia. Okay, because vascular dementia, the risk factors are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, obesity. This is what we know as metabolic syndrome. So common that many of us have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, eating propensity for diabetes, and then of course obesity. How can you reduce your risk? Take control of your health today. Okay, that's how you can do it. Again, prevention or cure. Okay. So, our body's biochemistry impacts things like blood sugar, insulin sensitivity, blood pressure, cholesterol, and triglycerides. That's your body's biochemistry. That's the metabolism. Okay, so it's very, very relevant if you have a product that affects metabolic health directly. So let's see some testimonies about diabetes. So Mr. H went from pre-diabetic few years back to diabetic this year. Okay. He resolved to stay away from lifelong medication, thus he started reset. 1 month later, his blood sugar level has already dropped from 9.1 to 6.6. Okay. He feels less tired with better sleep quality. We saw that earlier. Sleep is a big thing. Okay. This is a customer in his 60s. Okay. This lady, her brother gave a big thumbs up after taking reset for 1 month. Overall, all good, especially sugar level down from 13 to now 8 or 9. This is just after 1 month, okay, and metabolism has improved. Junwon has this customer, okay, blood sugar down from 8 plus 9 to 7 plus 2 days in a row despite over the holiday season feasting. This is another testimony. My brother has had type 2 diabetes and has been on insulin for more than 5 years. Okay, he's tried controlling his diet and exercise, but his blood sugar was still at 8 to 9.5. Okay. After 3 weeks of reset, his blood sugar was down to 7.5. Okay, and doctor was able to stop insulin jabs. Okay. This is Jane. Okay, let me read this. It's a bit small, the text. My father was a diabetic for a long time. Okay, this is a type that can't control his diet because he likes eating. Okay, so his Sugar reading for the father before eating is 10. After eating is 14 or more. Okay. Since taking reset, okay, his sugar reading has changed to 1 digit only, and despite reading, it fell as low as below 6. So below 6 is normal. Okay, he still has energy without feeling faint or looking pale. One of the problems of lack of sugar is that you feel faint. Okay, and he's getting more energetic. Okay, before that he spent a lot of time resting, doing nothing. He sleeps well. Okay, and he's the type of person that's a hard time sleeping. So that's very, very good news, especially if it's our parents. Okay. Now, some blood results, let me share with you. Okay, we saw about Isaac, how his blood pressure dropped. Well, his total cholesterol improved. Okay, and his bad cholesterol, the LDL bad cholesterol, improved from 4.13 to 2.78. Okay, and his doctor was amazed at this improvement. Okay, Kelvin. Okay, so Kelvin, 45 days with reset, his triglycerides improved from 3.1 to 1.6. Okay, his glucose also improved from 6.4 to 5.8. Okay. And this is Kelvin's father, 80 years old. Okay, so he's been taking diabetic medication for 26 years. Okay, after 1 month of ageLOC reset, his reading improved from 8.9 to 7, or as low, and even below 6, okay, as low as 5.9, getting healthier. Okay, this is an 80-year-old man who's been on medication for 26 years. Okay. So our innovative research has found a solution, okay, through very specific types of powerful ingredients called anthocyanins. Okay, you heard about that term in the video about the rat, and it seems such a complicated word, but actually we are familiar with anthocyanins. Okay, these are the red and black and purple fruits: cranberries, strawberries, pomegranate. But highest concentration of anthocyanins are in this black purple range. Okay. Now, if you people have done research in anthocyanins, okay, and they have found that it has an effect on fat tissue. Okay. For example, what it does is that it increases the fatty acid oxidation. That means you're able to burn overall fat. That's your subcutaneous fat. Okay, and also it increases insulin sensitivity. That's why people found the waistline dropping. Okay, because overall fat is being oxidized. Now, with muscle tissue, okay, it's able to absorb glucose, so the muscles are able to grow better and perform better. And also, it increases the metabolism of carbohydrate to give the muscle energy. The pancreas is an important organ because it produces beta cells, and beta cells are needed to produce and secrete insulin. We saw how important insulin is. Now, it also reduces the fats in the blood, okay, in your pancreas. And then lastly, your liver. Your liver is such an important organ, and it prevents the accumulation of fat in the liver. And this organ fat is what we call the visceral fat. It's a fat that actually causes cancer and all the diseases, okay, that will kill you. So it will reduce the accumulation of fat in the liver, and it also reduces oxidative stress, okay, which will damage the liver. So this anthocyanins will help shift your body to a healthier metabolic state. When we examine all these different purple fruits and black fruits, we found that the most potent was black currant, bilberry, and black rice. Later, when we talk about the clinical studies, I'll show you how we came to this conclusion. Okay. So are you getting an effective dose from diet alone? Okay, let's just for fun look at around the world. Okay, so our target dose, the optimal dose, is 215 milligrams. Okay, Australians are hardly taking any. The Chinese are taking more. The Chinese and the French are there because both these countries, they eat everything. Okay, and we need 250 milligrams. The average adult is taking about 1/10 of that, less than 25 milligrams. So we really need to supplement our body if we want to have optimal metabolic health. Okay. I want to share with you a bit about gene expression so that you understand a very important chart later on. Okay, now, this is a gene chip. Okay, you know, our body has maybe 25,000 genes, and you can actually study the behavior of these of your different genes through looking at a heat map. Okay, so this is a heat map. Let me share with you an example. Okay, so this is a heat map of certain of young genes. This is how the genes express themselves, okay, behave when they're old. So green stands for low expression, low activity. Red stands for high activity. So let me give you an example here. This could be a gene responsible for storing fat. So when you're young, it's not active. When you're old, you know, it's more active. That's why you store fat when you're old. Here could be a gene. This could be a gene responsible for building muscle. It's very active when you're young. It's easy to put on muscle, but it's not active when you're old. That's why you lose muscle. Okay, at age 65, you lose 15% of muscle every decade. So what we do is we expose this old gene to various ingredient blends. And we see here that in this ingredient blend number 4, it has reset the old gene to look like the young gene. In this particular example, it's a 92% match, okay, reset. Okay. So here we have a heat map for this, the biomarkers for liver, fat tissue, skeletal muscle, and pancreas. Okay, and this is the heat map for sedentary person. Purple means there's more of it, is increased. Orange is decreased. Okay, so what happens? What is the heat map of a healthy person? Someone who's metabolically healthy through exercise. You can see it's almost opposite. Okay, here if you're sedentary, you got increase in blood lipids. Or we are active, you don't have much fat in the blood. Okay, and what happens when you expose this sedentary person to a diet of anthocyanins? Okay, it shifts, okay, the biochemistry of a sedentary person to replicate a healthy person. Now, we're not encouraging you not to exercise. I mean, take anthocyanins and don't exercise. But the fact is that, you know, many of us can't exercise so much. You know, if you're a Grab driver, okay, or if you're a truck driver and you're sitting in the truck for 12, 14 hours, you can't go and, you know, exercise the same way that these triathletes do. Okay, if you're old, okay, you got joint problems and all that, you can't go and do that kind of exercise. So, you know, you can boost your diet significantly with anthocyanins. Okay. So here I'm just doing a blow up of skeletal muscle, and you can see a sedentary person taking anthocyanins. You know, there is almost a matching shift to a healthy metabolic state. So here's a few more examples. Okay, this is my friend Vishwa. After 2 weeks, he feels a rise in metabolism, makes me feel fitter, more energy, helps him slim down, he says. This is after 2 weeks. After 7 weeks, I'm into my second month of taking reset. I'm feeling more energetic and mentally clear. And he's also feels that he's losing fat around the waist, he said. Okay. Suyin, okay, hers was it helped water retention in her hand. She had this premenopause symptoms, water retention, weight gain, stiff neck and shoulder. Finally can sleep well as edema has improved. Okay, surprised to find that stamina and physical performance also increased. My friend Tian Zhong, okay, you have to read this twice. After 2 months, my nightly sleep has been affected by my newborn baby for the past 5 weeks. So you're saying, what is a 68-year-old doing having? Yeah, this is his second wife. You know, the baby is just born, 5 weeks old. But despite night duty, looking after the baby, he says his energy level seems unaffected despite my lack of sleep. He could carry on doing his work during the day. Okay. This is a much younger person, Su Xian. After 7 days, body weight dropped 3 kg, waist reduced 1 cm, muscle and skin firm. Okay, wakes up more energetic, and this is a young person. Okay. So now, we know we are going to, our strategy is to live with COVID-19. Okay, our daily cases are skyrocketing, but we're going to live with it. Okay, and I say, in these conditions, this is not the time to have a weak defense, low immunity, low energy, or mental stress. Okay, I want to just go back and talk a bit about gastrointestinal health. I shared with you that originally this product was developed because we wanted to look at gut health. Okay, so we have only one layer, okay, of gut cells. This is what we call our intestinal epithelial cells. Okay, and there's this thing called a tight junction. Okay, so a tight junction is a watertight seal between two adjacent cells. Okay, and these cells are held tightly against each other by certain proteins called tight junctions. Okay. Now, what happens when the barrier fails? Okay, it allows endotoxins and poisons and all that to penetrate, okay, through this one layer. That's all that we have to protect our body, and then that will cause inflammation and it will lead to all the metabolic dysfunctions, metabolic syndrome that we talked about. Okay, so that's how important the gut barrier is. With just one layer, that's all. Okay. So I want to share with you some of the benefits of reset when you've got good metabolic health. Okay. First thing is resilience. Okay, greater immunity, stronger recovery because the body is all working well. Okay, more energy. It's about metabolism, isn't it? Okay, so you have increased metabolism. It's like you're like an energizer bunny. Okay, sleep well is a big thing. Okay, how would you like to sleep like a baby? Have really sound sleep, wake up fresh, and of course, mentally happy. Okay, what I call enjoy life. Be calm, relaxed. Okay, have mental clarity. What we call a happy pill. And then lastly, for the body to be trim. Okay, lower visceral fat, that's the organ fat. Okay, especially at critical organs around the heart, the liver. Okay, increase muscle without exercise. Okay, how would you like to, or I say, rediscover your waistline? Okay, so I've came up with this in the mnemonic reset. Resilience, energy, sleep well, enjoy life, trim. Okay. Which area is most important to you? Talk to the person who shared this talk to you on this video. Okay, I want to wrap up with just a few more testimonials. Okay, better bowel movement is a big thing, and you'd expect that from a gut product. Okay, and that is a very common experience. Okay, this is Hui Xuan's father, who was a cancer patient, and he has a long-standing constipation problem ever since he was on his cancer medication. With 4 reset a day, he was going to the toilet twice a day, and then didn't even need to take Senna to help the body move the bowels, or this lactulose to soften the stool. In addition, he's sleeping very well. He no longer needs to take melatonin at night. So that's 3 drugs that he could stop taking. My friend Ching Wat, 63 years old, after 1 month on reset, and he takes a lot of new skin supplements, okay, but after 1 month of reset, I'm very happy that my bowel now functions regularly and it clears fully all at once. He's really, really happy. He says, you got a good bowel movement, you are the happiest person. Okay. Alice, okay, just 1 week with reset. She says, I've been troubled with constipation problem, used to take a very long time in the toilet to pass motion. After taking reset for a week, I feel so great to have fast and smooth bowel movements. Constipation problem has been resolved. Good. Okay, Jeff. Okay, now Jeff is something different, just antioxidant score. We have a machine that can measure your antioxidant score. Okay, and after taking the new skin supplements for quite some time, his score was 48,000 to 52,000, which is high. But after 2 months of taking reset, it shot up to 62,000. And this is his customer, June, okay, was 28,000. Okay, after 3 weeks of taking reset, it jumped to 48,000. Okay, what could be one reason this is happening? Okay, I think it's because your body is absorbing nutrients better. Okay, better gut health. Karen here, antioxidant score increased 33,000 to 49,000 after 1 week. Okay, better absorption. Now you also look better. Okay, so Joey here, after taking reset for 3 months, her cellulite has disappeared and her edema, water retention improved. Okay, this is Pauline, slimmer thighs. Siu at 35. Okay, look at that, after reset for 1.5 months. Okay, you see the reduction in body fat. You can see after 3 months, okay, quite a difference. This is 3 weeks. And some other examples from the waist. Okay, that's even my daughter, I told you, noticed that, and she's very, very disciplined, athlete, very disciplined with her diet. You know, she doesn't eat after 5 o'clock, and she found that improvement in her waistline. Okay, more obvious example. Okay, now this is not advisable, but he said super suitable for lazy people who want to slim down. So this is just 2 capsules a day. Or you simply feel better. Okay, this is my last testimonial from Wan Noya. Okay, 41 years old, no more insomnia, no more heavy head, no more sakit kepala, no more migraine, deeper sleep. Blood pressure is now stable, and she's happier, overall happier. Okay. Just this optimum dosage of anthocyanins. Okay. Okay, so it's just 2 capsules a day, and I want to remind you, totally natural. Okay, black currant, bilberry, black rice. Okay, and you know, would you rather take 2 capsules a day, prevention, or attempt to have to take all these things to cure your problems? And you don't have to be old for it to happen. It's happening to young people. Okay, I told you my brother had a heart attack at 43. Friends who at 40-something years old who now are taking so many drugs because they haven't taken care of their health. Okay, so when this product we had a preview last year. Okay, in Thailand it was sold out in 10 minutes. In Singapore, when we did a preview in December, it was completely sold out too. Okay, August, we just launched the product last week. Okay, on 5th of August, you can get 1 month supply for $165, or better still, if you buy 6 bottles, it's $880, which is a bit less than $146 a bottle. Okay, so product is available. So I just want to close with 2 thoughts. Okay, now we all work hard. Okay, Singaporeans work really, really hard, and the fact that you are here listening to this talk means you are these people on the right here. Okay, working really, really hard. But I'm saying, don't just work hard, work smart. If a couple of pills, a couple of tablets here can help this vehicle move better, why not? Okay, and of course, this question, we're talking about health. What's the risk of doing versus the risk of not doing? That's been a very, very helpful question, okay, to help me make decisions. What's the risk of doing versus the risk of not doing? Okay, so I want to thank you. That's my main presentation. But I've got some testimonials. I've got some clinical studies that I'd like to share. If you're interested, and for the sake of the recording also, shall I carry on now, this one? Okay, so I want to say something about these clinical studies. Okay, before the product was launched, okay, we had no testimonies. Okay, and but we did this. We just shared the clinical studies, and this was a message from a doctor. Okay, so he talked to a friend of mine. Hi Jerry, congrats! I sent your reset Zoom talk recording to my medical doctor customer, the one I told you who is one of the heads of department in a private hospital. He was impressed with your presentation, all the data you showed in the clinic research and clinical studies you showed. Was very impressed with reset, and he ordered 2 sets for himself and the family, based purely on clinical studies. So I'm going to just go through these clinical studies. Okay, so the first thing we did was, we wanted to find the right type of anthocyanins. Okay, so here this pink bar is a control group of people. Now, what it's measuring is TER. TER stands for trans-epithelial electrical resistance. So TER is a measure of the permeability of the cell. The higher the electrical resistance means lower the permeability. Toxins cannot pass through. Okay, so you want it to be high. That means it's impermeable. Okay. Now, what happens when they add this thing called TNF alpha? TNF alpha is a stressor that causes inflammation. So when you add this TNF alpha, you can see the permeability drops straight away, and it will allow toxins to come in, which is why inflammation increases, okay, because of the increased permeability. So what we did was we then added different anthocyanins, okay, cyanidin, delphinidin, melvidin, all these here, and we found that cyanidin and delphinidin were most effectively protected the cells against negative changes in inflammation-induced permeability. And why we choose blackcurrant, bilberry, and black rice is because they have got the highest amount of cyanidin and delphinidin. You can see when you take cyanidin and delphinidin, okay, the TER is almost the same as control. Okay. Then we did a preclinical study on mice, okay, and we see here that the intestinal permeability has improved with anthocyanin. So when we put a high-fat diet, this FITC dextrin, which is a measure of intestinal permeability, increases. So it becomes more permeable. When you put anthocyanins, the permeability drops. So the barrier is able to protect your body. Okay. Now, here we are measuring endotoxins. So endotoxins are polysaccharides that induce inflammation, and reaction to endotoxins can lead to anaphylactic shock and death of patients. And you can see here when you have a high-fat, when you have anthocyanins on a high-fat diet, okay, the amount of endotoxins drop quite dramatically. Okay, so that's mice. Okay. So just a reminder that anthocyanins they help promote a healthy microbiome, and they help promote these tight junctions in the GI tract, okay, which is important, and that helps reduce the endotoxins in the body. So we just saw that in a clinical study. Okay, also we are looking at a ratio of firmicutes and bacteroidetes, okay, which is the firmicutes are the bad gut microbes and the bacteroidetes are the good bacteria. Okay, you can see here with high-fat diet, you got a whole lot of bad microbes. Okay, when you put anthocyanins, the ratio drops dramatically. And here is measuring this thing called Akkermansia. Akkermansia is something that produces the nutrients that feed our other good gut bacteria. So we've got a lot of bacteria in our gut. This feeds the good gut bacteria, and it reverses obesity, diabetes, inflammation, and metabolic disorder. So that is why you saw the results earlier in the testimonials, because with anthocyanins, you can see the amount of the good bacteria, the nutrients goes up to help improve gut health. Okay. Okay, this is a study on mice again on the liver. Okay, so here is the control here with a high-fat diet. You can see it causes inflammation of liver. In fact, liver triglyceride levels were 76% higher in the high-fat diet group. But what happens when you add anthocyanins? It almost completely removes the harmful fat cells. Okay, so it's protecting your liver. Okay. Then what we did was we studied humans. Okay, we looked at 46 obese individuals, about 43 years old, but healthy obese. Okay, we did an 8-week study, and here we saw, okay, we see this is the amount of bad microbes, firmicutes, and this is the amount of good microbes. Okay, a lot more bad microbes than good microbes. Okay, and this ratio, okay, Firmicutes over bacteroidetes tends to increase with age. But look what happens after 8 weeks with anthocyanin-rich diet. Okay, the Firmicutes reduce and the good bacteria increase. In fact, how much does it increase? The good beneficial bacteria increases by 2.5 times. Okay, that's a huge increase just because of taking some anthocyanins. And blood sugar we measured, okay, you can see in the clinicals, it actually drops, okay, significantly, reduction in blood sugar. Okay, finally, we did, we looked at not the long-term, but the short-term immediate effects, okay, on 25 healthy individuals aged between 19 to 35. And what we did was we fed them a high-fat, high-carbohydrate meal, 1,000 calories, okay, and then we gave them anthocyanins during the first 5 hours of after the meal. Okay, just 5 hours, so it's immediate effect. Let's see what happened. Okay, the endotoxins. Remember, the endotoxins are the bad things that cause anaphylactic shock and death. Okay, so with a high-fat diet, it increased so much. Okay, with anthocyanins, the amount of endotoxins in the blood reduced dramatically because of the ability of the gut to prevent endotoxins from passing through the intestinal wall. Okay, and then you see when you take a high-fat, high-sugar diet, immediately after the meal, it will spike, then it will slowly come down. Okay, but with anthocyanins, it comes down much faster. So you get immediate benefits as well as, of course, long-term benefits. So this is a summary. Okay, you are able to bolster your metabolic health, and mechanism of action is on your microflora, is your gut bacteria, antioxidant health, and also control inflammation in your body, and it will support immediate and long-term medical health. Okay. So that's our latest blockbuster ageLOC product. Okay, perfect for preventing metabolic disorders. Okay, you don't want to be having to cure these. It's much more expensive and painful to cure, and it helps with the effects of modern lifestyle. Okay, so here again, okay, products available now. Okay, talk to the person who invited you to this talk how you can get these products. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Huisan.
Thank you, James. And with that, we end this evening's talk. Thank you, everyone. Please get to the person who showed you this video or invited you to this talk and let him or her know how many bottles of reset you would like, yeah? Okay, so thank you, James, and you can stop recording.